The NES Classic Edition was a wonderful product for those lucky enough to actually get one, but it only gives you a very small look into what the NES library actually was. There were hundreds upon hundreds of games to play for the NES, and now that retro is really big business, a lot of people are looking to check out what those libraries had to offer. So, if you're interested in checking out what NES games there were, or perhaps you are an older gamer and you have some of those games laying around, you're looking for a way to play them. There's plenty of clone systems, but one of the newest on the market is the Retrobit RES Plus, which is an NES clone that comes with two controllers. It allows you to play 720p through HDMI. You can also do composite if you want, and it's only $40, which is really an awesome deal. But how does the system measure up? I gotta say right off the bat that the controllers for the RES Plus are the real deal, which is completely shocking to me because more often than not these clone systems come with controllers that are absolutely garbage. They just don't feel right, or they feel cheap, or they break right away, or they're unresponsive. I have no complaints about the RES Plus controllers, and I honestly can't believe it. My entire time with the RES Plus, I use these controllers to play games. They feel right, and they don't feel like they're cheaply made, which again is shocking to me because this system is $40 and you're getting two controllers. So these are more than satisfactory as a replacement for original NES controllers, but if you still want to use those, you can. They plug in the same exact way on the RES Plus. The scariest part of any clone system is putting in and taking out the games, and that is going to be the case with the RES Plus. It's not as bad as some of the systems I've had, but it's still a little scary. You can't just put the game in and take it out. You're going to have to use some force. And like I said, with other clone systems, sometimes I feel like I'm going to rip the system in half when I'm doing it. But here, since I've learned, all you got to do is you put the game in and it clicks in place. That's not a problem. It goes in fine. You get a nice clunk when it locks in. When you take it out, you hold your hand on one side, you pull from one side. Then you hold your hand on the other side and pull from that side. Sometimes it takes a couple wiggles. Just take your time and it comes out fine. As long as you go through that method, you'll be totally fine and you won't have any worries. Don't try to brute force it because you could end up ruining the system or ruining the cartridge itself. So just be patient and you should be fine. Now that we've gotten through the other stuff, what's it like when you're actually playing a game? How does it look? How does it sound? How does it feel? The RES Plus is definitely a budget clone system. And I don't mean that in a bad way, you just have to have your expectations in check. So when you plug this in, you're not going to get, a multitude of options for different screen resolutions and filters and all that stuff. You're not getting anything, you're just plugging in the game and that's it. You're going to have to use the TV itself to do the 4x3 mode, and almost all TVs nowadays have that option. So you just go into your menu and you set it, and you'll be fine. Otherwise, the game's going to be stretched. And, if you want to play that way, that's fine, too. But just know that you'll have to go through the TV to do 4x3. Now, the games, for the most part, look pretty much like they do on the original NES. There are going to be some color differences. There are going to be some minor graphical details that might not come through as much, or it might look a little bit different than what you remember. But for me, not anything that killed the game by any means. Now, I love playing retro games. I love playing NES games to this day, and I'll be able to look at something and say, no, that's not right, or hear something and say, no, that's not right. But it's not anything that takes me out of the experience. Through all the games that I played, I didn't have anything where I was like, oh, this is completely wrong, I can't take this, or oh, this sound is driving me nuts. Nothing like that. If you're crazy and you've played NES games to the point of, memorization for every level and every stage and all that stuff, you'll hear things or see things that don't look quite right. But again, nothing that really takes away from your enjoyment of the game. So if you're like a retro specialist and you're looking for something that does the best job possible of mimicking what the NES does, that this system isn't going to be the best one for you. But if you're cool with, just the game playing correctly and things looking pretty much right and things sounding pretty much right, then you should be ridiculously happy with the RES Plus. Between visuals and sound, I would lean more towards sound being a little bit off. Like I said, again, not anything that's going to ruin your experience, but there might be a note that's a little off, or there might be an instrument that doesn't sound exactly like it does when played on the NES. And that's the way these clones are going to be. They're not the actual NES hardware, so you're going to have things like this crop up. There's just going to, and this will differ between titles, so you might have one title that sounds a little bit more different than another, and some titles might sound pretty much spot on, so as long as you can handle that, you should be okay. It's also worth mentioning that, obviously, I haven't tried this system with every NES game out there, so there might be some games that don't work with the system, but again, if you're used to clone systems, that's something you've already come to know. You're not going to get a clone system that plays every game perfectly. There might be a handful of games that just don't work. So do some research before you pick up the RES Plus if that's what you're looking to do. Play, like, you know, every game ever released. But by and large, you should be able to play what you have on your RES Plus and be really happy with how it comes out. What's most important to me is gameplay. I want the games to play like they did on the NES. I can forgive visual differences and audio differences as long as they're minor, but I need the controls to be right. I need the game to run correctly, and the RES Plus does that. Everything that I tested ran exactly how it did on an NES. I've played other clone systems where I've gotten to portions of games where it just didn't do things correctly, and it slowed down where there wasn't slowdown, and things just didn't play right. Everything I tested here did not do that, and I even threw some games at it that I knew caused problems on other clones, and the RES Plus didn't have those issues. So when the NES had slowdown, the RES Plus has slowdown, and how the controls felt on the NES, that's how they feel here. Which is really good, you know, but also kind of bad, because when you do poorly in a game, or you die, or you make a mistake, you can't blame it on the clone not working correctly. You only got yourself to blame it on, but that's how it was back in the day. So yeah, gameplay, super important to me, and it feels right on the RES Plus. To sum things up, the RES Plus is an awesome system. It's not the top of the line when it comes to all the bells and whistles, and it's not going to reproduce every game exactly right with exactly the same colors or exactly the same sounds, but this is a budget clone console for you to play NES games on, and it does that, and it does it pretty damn well. You can't beat the price. $40, 2 controllers that are really solidly made. It's a great system. This RES Plus is going to replace my other NES clones that I have downstairs in my basement. I have a TV set up down there where I play retro games, and this thing is going on the shelf. It's earned a spot. I like it better than the one that I have now, to tell you the truth, so that's the best recommendation I can give it. It's going to be my way to play NES games from here on out. So if you decide to pick one up, hit me up on Twitter or shoot me an email or something and let me know what you think of it. Hopefully you're as pleased as I was. Hey guys, RMC here from Go Nintendo. If you like what you saw in the video, why don't you give us a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe? We'd love to have you. If you want to see what else we're up to, you can check out GoNintendo.com for 24-hour Nintendo news. You can visit us on Facebook at Facebook.com/GoNintendo. You can check us out on Twitter at Twitter.com/GoNintendoTweet. And we're even over on Instagram at Instagram.com/GoNintendo. I put all the links in the description just to make it easier for you guys to follow. Thanks a lot.